Yo, what's up, everybody? Day 2 of the 30-day shred, going through the whole Bible in 30 days. I don't think y'all are going to see this until Saturday. So I'm going to group day 2, 3, and 4, maybe just 2 and 3 into one day. Y'all really don't care, though. Y'all are watching this. Y'all are enjoying it. I'm driving out to my friend's ranch in Clifton. Shout out Double G Garrett Gloff from All His Outdoors. We're going to be doing a little bit of hunting with the boys. Y'all get to see a little bit of that. But we are still going to be hitting the 30-day shred challenge. Making the videos probably won't happen, though. But we're driving out to Clifton. It's about 3.5 hour drive. Just started at around 11:30. I'm going to listen to as much of Exodus as I can during this drive. Hopefully I get through the whole thing. That'd be sick. Thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe, comment. If you like my glasses, I got these for Christmas. But yeah, I'll see y'all when I finish this section of the drive. I'll check in with y'all at some point. But thank y'all.
Look, I said big God, live on water. It's a big tide, big ride.
So it's I don't know what time it is. It's a little bit after noon, like noon 30, I think. Getting gas right now. I stopped earlier and got some Raising Cane's. This and a girl with blue eyes. Y'all know that meme. Y'all know it. I'm in Exodus 9 now. I'm really seeing God's care for the people of Israel and the wickedness of Pharaoh. But what I'm also noticing is that something I never really realized in my study of Exodus and my Bible study last semester was that whenever Moses and God are communicating, it's when Moses is in prayer, specifically after the burning bush, and then before when he goes up to Mount Sinai. It always says Moses went away and prayed, and God does what he says and then talks back to Noah. Not Noah. I keep saying Noah. Moses. So, yeah, I think that's just a reminder for us that that's how God communicates with us and how we communicate with him, through prayer. But not only that, through his word. And Moses didn't have the Bible. Like, this is written by Moses, what I'm reading right now, and he didn't have the word, but God communicated to him in that way. But thank the Lord that we have his word. We don't have to rely on a word from heaven, and we just have his whole word in front of us. We get to learn from the example of Moses. We get to learn from the example from the wickedness of Pharaoh to not do what he does. We just get to trust in God. I'm also seeing Moses' very weak faith. God shows a man who was a murderer, did not grow up Hebrew, so he probably doesn't care too much about his people, and he lacks faith. He struggles to speak, and God says, "Who is it that made your mouth? Who is it that made you? Who makes a man mute?" And Moses is like, yeah, you do that, but I still don't trust you. Give me Aaron. And God's like, okay, fine, I'll give you Aaron. And so there's a lot to unpack in the first 9 chapters. I'm realizing I'm almost done with the whole plagues and leaving Egypt part. I forget how little of Exodus that actually is. That there's 40 chapters and I'm only in number 9 and I'm almost done with that part. The Prince of Egypt movie makes it seem like that's the whole story of Exodus, but there's a lot more that I remembered was in Exodus, but I forgot how much of that there was. I'm not as excited about listening to that part when I'm just hearing about how they build the ark and the tabernacle and all that.
Drowning out the noise, intrusive thoughts is your word, my mind.
Image or any likeness
It's
of anything that is
1:21 p.m.
or that is in the earth.
Y'all can hear it in the background. I'm
or that
on
is in the
Genesis
water
or
under
Exodus
the earth.
20, I think.
You shall not bow down to them.
I got 2 hours of my drive left.
Lord
I am
God,
definitely getting through all of
energize
Exodus in this drive. And I
visiting
think I have a
the
few
iniquity
chapters of
fathers
Leviticus
on
to
the
go through.
to the 3rd and the 4th generation of those.
But
that read.
I'm seeing
But show
God's
steadfast love to
character
1,000
towards
who love
Israel.
him
I'm seeing
and keep my
that he's a
commandments.
healer, he's a
You shall
provider,
not take the name of the
he's
Lord
their
God
banner.
for the Lord will not hold him guiltless.
His
Who takes
whole
name in vain.
motivation
Remember the Sabbath.
behind everything he does is for his name to be proclaimed. It says that's
6
why
days
he
you shall labor
raised
and
up
do all your work.
Pharaoh for his
The
name to
7th day is a Sabbath to the
be
Lord
proclaimed
God.
when he tears him down.
On it you shall not do
It's
any
incredible.
work.
It
You
really helps you
nor
understand the
your son,
character of God and why he does what he does. Is for his name to be proclaimed. And what better is there than his name to be proclaimed through his grace, through his love, but also through his wrath and his justice? Because We like to forget about his wrath and justice. We love to talk about his grace, but we forget about his wrath and justice and about how important that is, how cool that is, that God is a perfect God who judges perfectly, and we should rejoice when he judges, like the Israelites did when they rejoiced that God destroyed their enemies. We see it all throughout the Psalms. How do we live like that as a Christian? Rejoicing over our enemies being judged. It's weird. It's hard. When I feel like I'm called to love them, doesn't that feel like it's opposites? But somehow God does both. And that's just the mystery and the nature of God that I don't understand, and that I'll just continue to probably see throughout this journey. But yeah, I'm going to get back to it and get back to listening. Probably rewind a little bit because I missed all that's playing right now.
I can feel the spark like burning bush, my soul on fire. Yeah, he thought them dogs was fiery, no weapons prospering. Got lights, so all them lies can't follow me, I'm blocking heartily. Can't believe he took my shame away, did that wholeheartedly. Was 6 feet deep, but out the blue, he doubled up like Nipsey. Devil trying to get me, I can't let him tempt me. Testaments like twin cannons, you know the sword get filthy.
We back, it's 2:14. We've got about 56 minutes left, as my map says, to get to our destination. I'm in Exodus chapter 32, so it does look like we'll get through all of Exodus before we get there. Making good time on my drive. But anyways, I just listened to about 10 straight chapters of rules about building the tabernacle and the Passover and all those other things that God is just so detailed about. And when I was going through my Bible study in Exodus, the question got brought up of why is God so intentional in these details? And my first answer when I thought of that question was, well, it doesn't waste God's time to make more details, right? He is all-knowing, so that's a part of his knowledge already. He already knows exactly how he wants things. But then when I heard it in totality with the rest of Exodus 32, when it's the story of the golden calf, I realized the Israelites are not very smart. In the same way we are not very smart. He gave them all these commands because he knew they would mess up. And he knew if he didn't tell them to do it exactly how he wanted them to do, they wouldn't do it right. Something that a mentor of mine, Daniel Lee, y'all know him, he asked me about Exodus 32 was, who is the deity or deities that the golden calf represents? Who is it? Baal? Is it Beelzebub? Is it, a different spirit? Is it a deity of Egypt? Is it Ra? Is it one of those? And the scripture doesn't tell you. It doesn't say that. It doesn't specify. It just says gods. Well, the Hebrew word there's Elohim, and in our English context, we don't have a great word for Elohim beyond gods or God. But based on the English connotation of the word God, we think of the holy God Yahweh. But Elohim doesn't hold that meaning, and I think that's a limiting of the English translation in that we have. Is we're translated that word Elohim to gods instead of God, because they were not trying to worship a different being other than Yahweh or God, but they were attributing Yahweh to this calf, which is a violation of the second commandment. Because then Aaron says, let's go have a feast to the Lord. And that word, the Lord, and you see it capitalized there, is Yahweh. And so I just thought it was really cool of reading it all in totality showed me that, like, wait, he's so detailed because they're not very smart and they don't get it right unless he tells them exactly how to do it. And even when he tells them exactly how to do it, they still will get it wrong in the future. That was just a cool, neat note that I, with my previous understanding of Exodus, and then this new way of going about it, listening to the whole thing on this car ride. Just a cool detail.
Feel like Peter with that sword, cause it is not soft. Stepping in his presence, keep your socks off. Moses.
We just wrapped up Exodus chapter 40. Honestly, it was so much that I don't have many thoughts. I feel like half of those chapters could have just been summarized in one sentence, and they built it exactly how the Lord had told them to. But that's good that they did it right, and Moses recorded exactly how they did it right. They do have a track record for messing up, so that probably was pretty important. But It was a great time, great reading. I'm almost to my friend's ranch. I thought my ETA was 3:05, but it's telling me now it's 3:14.
It used to be bad boys for life, but God said, hold up. I still been waiting on him. King of Kings, he told me to be patient. I can't fake the come.
I did not realize we'd be hunting tonight, but we're out here. We're sitting on the ground next to a hay bale. Deer should be coming out from in front of us. I'm with Jacob. He does not want to say what's up.
I'm Instagramming.
He's Instagramming.
That's iMessage.
Anyways,
Same thing.
we got like 45 minutes till something could be out here, so we're just chilling until then. Already wrapped up all the scripture I needed today, so nothing on that end. It's gonna be a good night. I'll let y'all know if we get anything.
Hey, can't see why they hate. Jesus really came with love. I can't live with daisies when he bought my sin and blood. I know that the suffering I see ain't just because. Live as Christ and die as gain. This plane ain't Janus from above. First class to heaven, so you know I'm flying spirit. Say that bar was cheap, but I've been living in his riches.